Sup, dawgs? This is Jeff. Dogjeff, and I'm playing a game called the Stanley Parable. I don't really know anything about this. At all. But I'm okay with that, as you just see. Okay. And, well, we're gonna begin. The end is never the end is never the end. The end is never the end, the end is loading. The end is loading? Right. Well, I'm going into this. Quick skip.
This is the story of a man named Stanley.
I'm gonna turn up my
Stanley
volume.
worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job.
Stupid.
Stanley was happy.
That's good, I guess.
And then one day, something very peculiar happened.
The Stanley Parable appeared on
Something
the
that would
screen.
forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been
The horrifying
at his desk for nearly
experience.
an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened. This complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time.
That's because he's just sitting on the screen
But
like,
as he
I
came
want
to his
orders.
wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
What? Can I sharpen my pencil?
All of his co-workers were gone.
Hey!
What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
What? What did that say? I can't jump. Why can't I jump? Am I supposed to be able to jump? It's like on a key. Ah. I don't want to go to a conference room. What? What? There's something very odd going on here.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
I entered the door on my left, did I? You want me to go for the left? What? I could go right. Wait. He wants me to go left, but by giving me the option to go right, like, I feel it's a trap and that going right would be wrong, so I should go left. Right.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Had to solve a dispute with a co-worker. Recent co-workers for not supporting you more. Resent co-workers for not setting you. Using slides to ensure employees that everything is okay. Make sure your slide has a slick blue graphic in the header and throw some bevel on the text. This will ensure a calm, productive work environment. What is hot? Target demographic. Stripes. Colored in segment. Stock market somewhere else. Things. Happy feelings. Mike James, you are fired. Happy feelings is not a thing. Broom closet. Ah!
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track.
No, I didn't. I sat in the broom closet and thought, oh, God, this is so amazing. I can smell how clean it is.
There was nothing here. No choice to make, no path to follow. Just an empty broom closet. No reason to still be here.
Maybe I wanted this wrench. Oh, my God, that's such a massive wrench. Duct tape. Everyone loves
it. It was baffling that Stanley was still just sitting in the broom closet. He wasn't even doing anything. At least if there was something to interact with, he'd be justified in some way. As it is, he's literally just standing there doing sweet FA.
Fuck all. I like this broom closet. It's.
Are you really still in the broom closet? Standing around doing nothing? Why?
Because I love
Please
this
offer
broom.
me some explanation here. I'm genuinely
Look,
confused.
have you seen this broom? Literally, you could cut off the bottom and make it into a beautiful moustache. This would make.
You do realize there's no choice or anything in here, right?
There's a broom.
If I'd said Stanley walked past the broom closet, at least you would have had a reason for exploring it to find out. But it didn't even occur to me because literally this closet is of absolutely no significance to the story whatsoever.
This is completely
I never would have
significant.
thought to mention it.
This is significant. Look, this broom is awesome. I want to take it with me.
Maybe to you this is somehow its own branching path. Maybe when you go talk about this with your friends, you'll say, "Oh, did you get the broom closet ending? The broom closet ending was my favourite."
The broom closet ending was my
Your
favourite.
friends find this concerning.
It was my favourite ending. I don't even know what it means, but...
Stanley was fat and ugly and really, really stupid. He probably only got the job because of a family connection. That's how stupid he is. He's all with drug money. Also, Stanley is addicted to drugs and hookers. Well, I've come to a very definite conclusion about what's going on right now. You're dead. You got to this broom closet, explored it a bit, and were just about to leave because there's nothing here when a physical malady of some sort shut down your central nervous system and you collapsed on the keyboard.
How dare you insult me like that?
The responsible thing is to alert someone nearby so as to ensure that your body is taken care of before it begins to decompose.
Ew, I spat all over my shoe.
Hello? Anyone who happens to be nearby? The person at this computer is dead. He or she has fallen prey to any number of your countless human physiological vulnerabilities. It's indicative of the long-term sustainability of your species. Please remove their corpse from the area and instruct another human to take their place at the computer, making sure they understand basic first-person video game mechanics and filling them in on the history of narrative tropes in video gaming, so that the irony and insightful commentary of this game is not lost on them. All right, when you've done that, just step out into the hallway.
This game covers all of my needs. It has brooms and duct tape. Anyway, I've got to get out of this closet now. Goodbye, home.
Second player. It's good to have you on board. I guarantee you can't do any worse than the person who came before you. You too. I'm at the mercy of an entire species of injuries. Perhaps there's a monkey nearby you can hand the controls to. A fish? Fungus? Look, you can hammer out the details. I'm not particularly picky. I'll just be waiting for when you're ready to pick up the story again.
No smart remarks. No smart remarks. Okay. Bye, broom closet. I will forever love you. You will be my favorite thing. I love you, broom closet. Just give me a hug. Give me a hug, broom closet. That was good, broom closet. Thank you. I appreciated it. Good to know, broom closet. I'll always love you. I'll come back for you.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his...
Screw you, I'm disobeying. Screw logic. It's red and glowy. Let's hide under the stairs. Let's not hide under the stairs. It's got a big glowy red light. Fire hose. No.
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss. Admitting he had left his post during work hours, he might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all. None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations.
Like this clock being 12B4.
Why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down? Why did doors close automatically behind him?
Yeah, that is a
wherever
question.
he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real.
No, it is real.
At last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming, he yelled. This is all a dream. Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-worker...
But why was he sleeping on the job?
He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all.
He was crazy.
He thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So, he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground.
Ah! Help me!
He imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield.
No! No!
It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head?
Good question.
Everything that I'm doing and thinking.
Because I'm number 10.
Was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange.
Because I want to photocopy my butt. Please let me photocopy.
Describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought. And while he thought it all very odd, and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself? Believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life. Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew
repeating
beyond a doubt that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too, surely. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one. Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my
Jump
job.
scare.
Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please, it's all I want. I want my apartment, and my wife, and my job.
And a broom.
All I want is my life.
I want a
exactly
broom.
the way it's always been. My life is normal.
I want a broom.
Normal.
Everything
will be fine. I am okay.
Ha!
Stanley began screaming. Please, someone, wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please,
that's all red.
Tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black.
Ah! Hello?
This is the story of a woman named Mariella.
What?
Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk.
What about the
And
broom?
although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments, she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy. This much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day. The very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
Ran? I'm not that bad. I'm not disgusting and horrible. I lost. I got the ending where I didn't get a broom. Okay.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
I guess I have to go from the
Stanley
start.
decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
No, I'm going to separate these into episodes. So now I'll probably cut to another, episode of this. So enjoy.